NFL brings us to the world's steel capital in the city of bridges, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Acrisure Stadium. Today we've got a fun AFC matchup on tap, as it'll be the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, what a move. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
On the ground, here's the fourth-round pick from Maple's draft. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
In motion right is Thomas. From the shotgun, Lawrence. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jags first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
9 yards.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Now inside the 25. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Bashal Tootin, 60 yards. And the Jaguars will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
Well, earlier in the week when they had their scouting report meeting, this was the explosiveness that they talked about trying to contain. They were concerned about it all week, yet he still did it to them. Wonder how that's going to carry over the rest of the game.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Looking to put a drive together. They run here with Rico Dowdle. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And the Jags are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Lawrence. Allen here on the screen. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception. That means everyone on the offensive side of the ball but someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. From midfield now, Lawrence. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
A good job in coverage there. They took away his top read on the play, so he went through his progressions and ended up settling on his running back who scored on their last possession, but the coverage held. It goes incomplete.
On fourth down, on is Logan Cook to punt. And the punt goes out of bounds, so no chance to bring it back, and they will spot it at the 24-yard line. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead. Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Brought down by Trayvon Walker on the pass rush.
But you do need to know as a young quarterback that if you're going to spread the field, the ball's got to come out quick, and you have to know where to go with the football really in pre-snap. Identify where you want to go and get rid of it.
A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll try and do this himself. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on 2nd down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. He certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there, trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough. On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10 at their own 27. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. A short throw taken in by Long. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be 2nd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 7. Lawrence. Now he's going to step up and run. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. A good pickup there at 22.
That's good.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
Play action. It's Lawrence. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Now the former Syracuse man, LaQuint Allen. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Thomas, the man in motion left. Flag comes out, and that's because the offense did not get the play off in time.
And you can see the head coach, he is not happy. Everyone getting away from him right now because he's frustrated that they didn't get the ball snapped in time.
Now Lawrence. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but maybe circle this play because if they get the stop and hold them to a field goal here, that's a pretty good job. They're already down on the scoreboard.
A stop now would be vital for them because it could save them from having to do it multiple times later in the game in order to either get back into it or maybe have a chance to win.
Now Lawrence to throw. And he will not be able to hang on to the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. They got to get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
And Little on for the field goal. A 55-yard attempt.
And that is no good. And this will remain a one-touchdown game.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now run straight ahead with Warren. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the gun on 3rd down. Howard. He'll try and do this himself. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13.
I haven't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder. If he wasn't a first-round pick, they want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the 1st down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried running through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Trayvon Walker. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this 1st quarter of play. The defense, they brought the house. That O-line, they were overwhelmed.
To put it mildly, because they didn't have enough bodies to block all the guys that came at them. Their best move, how they would have been better served, just turn around and yell, "Look out!" because here they come.
Howard from the gun on 3rd down. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Brought to the ground by the linebacker, Foye Oluokun. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this 1st quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. The Jaguars getting set to go. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hunter. And they'll be stopped at the 28. On a play that started at the 14, they pick up 14.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 77 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start.
Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Now Lawrence. And that's going to be incomplete.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10.
Lawrence will throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Here's Logan Cook now to punt this one away.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10.
Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
On is the punter, Johnston now, as he sends this one away. Call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Joey Porter Jr. that time got in there and backs the offense up. Tackle for loss.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Here's Lawrence to throw. Pass complete. Finds Thomas going across the middle.
A gain there of 21 yards.
It's a gain of 21 yards. That's good for a Jaguars first down. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10.
One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry.
That's some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone. 94 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage 1 play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up 1st and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far in this drive. This offense on the march.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal.
On play action, Lawrence.
To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's a pretty play there. Got in at the last second, helped force the ball free, and kept them out of the end zone.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal.
Out of the gun, it's Lawrence.
Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars.
Brenton Strange
from 6 yards away.
And the Jaguars go up by 2 touchdowns.
No surprise there. 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, he might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Looking to put a drive together. They go play action here on 1st down.
Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
Here's 2nd and 3. On the run, it's Dowdle.
And he'll get it right near the 40 to the 39. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Off play action. Howard. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He'll get this to his running back, Dowdle. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
That is caught. And he will have a Steelers first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
That's a much-needed accomplishment there on 3rd down. They've been forced to punt far too many times already. They needed something to go their way, and they're able to get a new set of downs.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll look to throw again. A short one there with Fryermuth. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it's 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Here now, 2nd and 4. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. And even 40 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
Dowdle trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
He'll try again, but he will lose yardage here. Back to the 4-yard line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
And the Steelers on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and goal. They'll try and do this, and he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Steelers have got it back to within a score.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Boswell good with the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The Jaguars again ready to take over on offense. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one. Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line.
It's a gain of
116 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
In motion right here, Hunter. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's second down.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
That's caught. It's Strange, the tight end. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
That's good for a Jaguars first down. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Back to throw now on first down. Lawrence hit him, the ball is free. And this ball recovered by the offense, but remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Lawrence to the right side and complete to Thomas. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
It's a gain of 4, and it's 3rd down.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
Oh, the snap, a poor one, and this is blocked. Well, we say it all the time, offense, defense, don't forget about special teams. Big punt block there.
And how many coaches have told us if we make a big play on special teams, if we find a way to score, whether it's on the play or later, 90+% of the time, we win the game.
Just don't hold them to those numbers.
No, we haven't quantified it yet, but they believe it, and we have seen it happen many, many times in just that manner.
At the 27-yard line.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Looking to throw. Howard. Now he'll tuck this and run. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on 3rd down. Howard working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
7-yard gain.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Now the Steelers going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. A chance now to get even before the break as they come up first and goal. Back to throw. Howard. That's to the pylon and incomplete.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
Back to throw again. Now he's going to step up and run. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers take the block punt and convert it into 6 points. We've seen this already from him in this game. Second time he's into the end zone with a rushing touchdown.
So the head coach is going to have a meeting with the owner this week. You know why? He's got to let the owner know, I know you wrote the check for his arm, but we're going to make him a part of our running game too. This guy can do it all. Let's see where he takes us.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Jaguars ready to go on offense for the final time in this first half. And they'll have time for one play. That's it. 3 seconds to go before intermission. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Here's a 2nd and 9 now from the 29. Looking to throw. Howard over the middle. That's caught by Metcalf. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that'll leave him with a 3rd and 2.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
On the give, it's Warren. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Right back to him on first down. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
8 yards on the ground there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 2.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. In motion right, that's Metcalf. To throw is Howard. Off play action. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
His throw incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They run here with Dowdle. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Back to throw. Howard. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
A 50-yard attempt.
Boswell's kick is good, and they take a 17-14 lead.
All right, let's give the kicker some credit here because he didn't let the inaccurate snap phase him whatsoever. Trusted his holder to get the ball down in time, stuck to his routine, and somehow found a way to put the ball through the uprights.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And able to get this out to the 25. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. And they find themselves down on the scoreboard following the field goal a moment ago.
And I think even though they trail in the game now, I would consider that a win for their defense, and that's probably what they're telling the offense when they get to the bench. Hey, the onus is on you guys now. Get back out there and get us the lead back.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And this will be a Jaguars first down as the tackle made here at the 36.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the jet sweep, here's Travis Hunter. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. T.J. Watt, always the disruptor, there to blow that play up. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so you can only go so far outside, and they were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, they used your boy over there, the 12th man. Sammy Sideline, right?
Sammy Sideline. You know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak. And he goes out right around the 39.
So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback.
Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense.
And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's 2nd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end, and look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
44 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Operating from the gun, Howard. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
It's now 3rd and 2.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Looking to throw. Howard.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Defenders, I think if he gets eyes on the ball a little bit earlier, he might come away with it. Instead, it's going to wind up as just an incomplete pass.
Here's Cameron Johnston now, as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off the 9-yard line. Nice punt. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Here's Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to Tootin. And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Lawrence.
Over the middle, complete. That's Thomas.
And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They gave up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away.
Fielded at the 33. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. Howard now, throwing to start the drive. Now he'll tuck this and run, and he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the 1st down marker. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
His running ability has been an extra dimension of their game plan thus far. For once, though, he doesn't create any magic against the front that was prepared for him to try and take off.
A running play, it's Dowdle. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. They run again with Dowdle. And he will have a Steelers 1st down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
On 2nd down, they'll run it here. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these 2 teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Now Howard from the gun on 3rd down. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
Now that's a killer because you think you've got it absolutely covered, and then he hot-foots it out of there and picks up a 1st down. Drives you crazy as a defense.
Looked like, you're exactly right. Looked like a 4 sure stop on 3rd, and then the tables turn. A handoff for Warren. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That is Joshua Hines-Allen getting in there to bring him down.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. That is Josh Hines-Allen working his way in for the sack.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Out to the right and complete to Pittman. That'll give him 8 that time. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
A 45-yard attempt.
Oh, the snap, a poor one, and this is blocked. It's picked up, a live ball here, remember. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Now Lawrence to throw. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
This offense so far on third down, they've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 4. Now Lawrence. Allen here on the screen. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Now Allen. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now Lawrence got his man. It's the tight end Strange with it. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
If they get nothing else here on 3rd down, it'd be a 53-yard attempt from this spot. Lawrence on the sneak. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. So call that no gain on the sneak, and now they're still a yard short here on 4th.
Well, that play seemed well scouted defensively. They collapsed everything inside. Nowhere to go on the quarterback sneak. Now it's going to bring up 4th down.
A 53-yard attempt.
And this one is right down the middle. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the 4th as the kick's away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And now out come the Steelers. And we essentially have a brand new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this 4th quarter. Looking to put a drive together. Throwing to start the drive. Howard. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
Well, as we all know, possessions are crucial in a tie game. And let's face it, I really didn't need to tell you that. You already knew it. So when he sees he's got nothing good going, an excellent decision to just send that one to the sideline.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
I like what they tried to do there, tried to hit him with something quick, get the ball in his hands, and hope he could make some yards after the catch and pick up a first down. Weren't able to do so on that play.
Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And taken right on the 30. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And that will come the offense as they take over. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Looking to throw, Lawrence. A short throw there to Strange.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it'll be 2nd down.
Right there, he rose to the occasion late in a close game.
It's something he thought about, dreamed about, and worked on throughout his career. Because in these types of situations, he wasn't going to allow extra coverage to keep him from getting the football.
Lawrence going to fire it out wide, complete.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1.
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And eventually taken down, but how about that athletic spin move we saw? Gives him the first down yardage. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Well, it wasn't a goal line situation, but how about the goal line formation on 3rd and short? They went in and went heavy. No surprise on who was going to get the football. How about the power exhibited there?
Yeah, that was just put a hat on a hat, drive forward. Nice job to pick it up.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
And in the second half of the tie game, every decision gets magnified. And here, if he forces this ball, it could be intercepted. So that's the prudent play to just airmail it out of bounds.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Here's Lawrence to throw.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
3rd and 5. From midfield now, Lawrence. He'll try and do this himself.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
Great vision there by Lawrence as he scrambles for a first down.
From here on, any score could be the winning one, and he is certainly aware of that. Look at the way he locked in on that marker and made a mad scramble to get to it for the first down.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 33, here's a 2nd and 8.
On the draw, here's Allen. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Lawrence will throw. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to break our 4th quarter tie. And his kick here is good. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Completes it to Perry. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
That gets him the first down, but they've still got to move quickly here.
And the Steelers, first down. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
They'll look to throw.
That's pulled in by Wilson.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
17 yards.
That's exactly what they were looking for. If they get another gain like that, they'll be right there in field goal range.
And the tension building.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Here's 1st and 10.
He'll look to throw. Got a man here. It's Wilson. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining.
Steelers first down. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Here's 1st down.
Back to throw.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
26-yard line.
2nd down and 6 now from the 26.
Back to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
The 18-yard line.
Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10.
He's back to throw.
Well, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
And his throw is going to be incomplete.
intended for
Third and
Michael
long coming
Pittman
up.
Jr.
Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane.
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both, because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure, and if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute.
Touchdown.
What an outstanding drive right there to take the lead. And also, Charles, didn't leave their opposition with a whole lot of time on the clock.
Yeah, I like the way that you're viewing this, because they did a tremendous job to put themselves in a position to win, but they can't celebrate just yet. They've got to clamp down on any big plays and force them to use up those timeouts without making any headway.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And that will make this a 4-point game. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here now, Lawrence and the Jaguars. Down 24-20, 25 seconds remaining. They've surrendered a double-digit lead, but can rescue themselves late as they come up on first down. Back to throw, Lawrence. Pass complete, Thomas. And 5 yards, not going to cut it here. That clock continues to run. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. Now 2nd and 4. Lawrence finding Allen. And he's going to pick up a first down here as that clock continues to run.
Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
36-yard line.
Well, this offense still has the one timeout here, remember. 1st and 10. Here's Lawrence.
And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Off to Thomas on the left side. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. They may be a little short of the first down, but I thought that was the key.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Throwing now, Lawrence.
He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over.
A fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com.
The Steelers earn the win at home as we say so long from Pittsburgh.